Pardon me if I sound tired. I stayed up pretty late to watch the finale and I only just got up. So, Survivor Philippines finale. It was a good finale, but I kind of wish there was a little more drama because, honestly, there really wasn't that much of it for me, even though it was kind of ooh in many moments. So, heading into that Day 37 challenge for that advantage, Malka wins, expected, we get to the challenge. That was a pretty good advantage to go into and all that. And then he totally fills up. I mean, like, what's the deal with raising it up to your face? You're just risking it. Yeah. So he falls, and then Denise falls. Honestly, I expected that because I was watching Cardo's Ponderosa videos, and they were showing the jury reactions. And based on their reactions, I got the feeling that neither Malcolm or Denise, the people who everyone was thinking needed the immunity, wanted, so it wasn't that surprising. Scoopin ends up getting it, and I applaud the guy. He's currently the only returnee to have come into another season without his name being written down, and to make it to the end without his name getting written down. Sandra fell just short of that goal, and yeah, Scuba made it to day 39, a total of about 56 days on Survivor without his name getting written down at all, and despite his name being thrown around the bunk several times this season. Congrats, dude. Plus, you picked up a couple of wins along the way. Awesome. So at camp, it's obvious that it's either Malcolm or Denise because Malcolm pulled a penner and didn't commit, which really sucks. And everyone's saying that they think that against Malcolm they have no chance, and that's really making me go, Scoopin. It's not because I was rooting for Scoopin to win. I got the feeling that against Malcolm or Denise he had no shot, so I was rooting for Malcolm or Denise. But I'm like, guys, why are you saying that against Malcolm you're going to lose? Against Denise, you're going to lose. Okay? I mean, for crying out loud, as someone who's watched enough reality TV to kind of predict this, now it was just, for me. So we go into Tribal, and it's gut-wrenching how much the former allies, the tightest group in this entire game, are turning on each other, when I would have loved to have seen them make a tiebreaker with Lisa and send her to the jury. Get rid of the last Tandane member, because I don't consider Scoop a Tandane member, I call him a returnee. He was never Tandane. Lisa, she became Tandane. So, Malcolm gets voted out. I kind of predicted that because if he's on Fans vs. Favorites 2, why, I mean, he wouldn't have won. They don't do that for Fans vs. Favorites. Day 39, blah blah blah, they go into Tribal. Those opening speeches, I feel like they just sucked. There wasn't really that much merit. I mean, like, it was pretty obvious what they were going to say. Scoopin was going for the fact that as a returnee, his name was being tossed around, and then he outwitted everybody, and I go, Scoop, in any other season, I would have applauded that. Coach did that in South Pacific, but you don't have this, Scoopin. You don't. I mean, for crying out loud, Coach came into the season unliked. Over the course of the season, I feel he revamped his image. Scoopin, you came into this season with tons of people remembering you, people loving you, knowing that you were a pretty good strategic mind, good at the camp life, and in this season you kind of were a blubbering mess. Yeah, you made it to day 39, and yes, you're still likable, but you're nowhere near as good of a person as you were last time. Admit it, Scoopin. You got to the end, and I applaud you for that, and you played a good game, but you're not the same like Scoopin. I'm sorry, you're not. And then Lisa's going for the fact that she did all the strategy things and all that, and I'm like, no, you've shown your true colors, you turn to the dark side. I don't think you've got a shot. Denise, well, it's just predictable what she did. All the members come up, and I was surprised at how bitter they were to everybody. I couldn't predict a single person who they were going to vote for and all that. It was just totally confusing. Although I have to admit, though, they did make good speeches. Artist, that was a good speech. Jeff, not bad, although... I don't know. And then Penner, awesome. I mean, like, he said to Denise what had been happening with her in the last few episodes. You have definitely shown everyone your bitch side. I agree. Up to the episode where Penner got booted out, Denise was perfectly likable. The contestant I honestly thought had the best chance, and then in that episode she showed her dark colors. She remained the person most likely to win if she made it, but she showed the dark colors. Scooping, Penner pointed out, yeah, you made it to the end without your name getting written down, but you don't have that much to show for it. And then he also puts on his example. I believe I've gotten my name written down 15 times. I believe that's a record. And that was a record. He did have the record at one point, but now Philip, Ozzy, and Edna all tie for it. And he actually had his name written down 14 times this season if you count the 5 votes he negated with his idol. And no, he didn't have his name written down in Micronesia, but he only went to Tribal twice. So yeah, he tells Scuba that he doesn't have that much to show for it, and then Lisa, he reveals who she is, but purely just because he wants people to know who they're voting for. He's not doing it out of complete spite, even though that could be a little bit behind it. I thought that was a good move. He's like, if you want to vote for her, at least know who you're voting for. And then Lisa's trying to bring it up, and then Penner's just like, I would tell you, but that's not going to change anything. And I could tell that he meant it. He's like, if you want to know, come up to me, and I'll gladly tell you. So yeah, Penner. Awesome, man. So I'll admit I was a little surprised when I saw his vote for Denise, but Penner always struck me as a guy who could put his feelings aside and vote for the person he felt most deserved it. He did that for Yule and Cook Islands. So, yeah. Oh, see, I don't know. I'm kind of with most people on the calling her a little cuckoo. I don't hate her, I think, as much as I did. Actually, it's hard to even hate her at all, honestly, but, you know. And then Carter. Sorry, Carter, you're just a cuckoo head with that vote for Scoopin', and Scoopin'? Dude! So, finally, we have another situation since China where the final 3 all get a vote. Not that it mattered, because Denise got every vote afterward. Well, it was like I predicted. If Denise made it to the end, she won. And then they even say, if they put Malcolm in there, and you put Lisa on the jury because she's the only other person that could be there, does Denise win? And she still wins, which confirms my theory. If Denise makes it, she wins. And Malcolm wins if Denise isn't there. So yeah, Lisa and Scoop, and they had no chance. They sealed their fates when they voted out Abby. Had they voted out Denise, Malcolm wouldn't have won that immunity, and he would have gone. Abby would have gotten Artis and Pete's votes. Carter and RC would have still voted the way they did. And then it would have been up to everybody else to try and decide who they want to see win. And it would have been close between them, that's what I predict. I want to know, I would have voted for Scoopin', but I have no idea. And Denise, you gotta remember, she didn't want to betray Malcolm. She actually, I think, wanted to bring him along. He just wasn't committing. Had he committed, they would have stayed together, I think. So, going into the reunion, it was kind of boring, to tell you the truth. There wasn't really that much left to say, and he spends, like, 6 straight minutes on Lisa. Then he spends 4 on Abby. I could not watch that. I just skipped it. I really could not watch that. Now, all this stuff about, like, Artist Pete, Penna, Scoobin, Denise, Malcolm, Dawson. All that was interesting. Even talking to the Cowboy girls, it was great to hear from them again. I didn't totally like them on the island, but I love to hear from them. But all of that, oh, and I've noticed something. Almost every time after he's read the votes, he gives a very quick overview about how either the winner surprised him, or what the winner did. Here, he doesn't mention Denise. He turns to the camera and says, "The live reunion show is next," and then he walks off. Oh! Ouch. Yeah, and then when we get to the fan favorite, and then by 0.7%, rather than the person who I thought would win, Malcolm, even though I wouldn't have voted for him, I would have voted for Penner. Hey, I like Penner. Lisa wins. Boo! Honestly, what is up with this? Oh, God. Oh. What did you do? I was about to call her a bitch. She's not a bitch. That's Abby in the game. Yeah, yeah, that was a bad fan favorite one. I mean, sheesh, that's even worse than what was the other example I had? Ozzy in South Pacific. I just could not understand that he got all that hype for him. I didn't like him in South Pacific. He was interesting to watch, and he actually helped make the season, but I thought I was going to like him in South Pacific, and it turns out I'm like, no, I want Coach and Upolu to wipe your tribe off the mat. And they did that. They wiped all of Ozzy's tribe off the mat except for Ozzy, and then the Upolu 3 took out everyone until it was just them and Ozzy, and then they took out Ozzy. Yeah, whatever. We're getting beside the point here. So, all in all, a good finale. We have a good winner who survived every tribal council, never won immunity. Well, actually, she won one immunity, but it wouldn't have mattered. She wouldn't have been able to beat Jeff and Carter, and she wouldn't have been voted out. So, we're talking to somebody who survived 14 straight tribals, one challenge, and that was because of a conceded throw. Bailey was talked about being voted out. She was only in danger of going, I think, once. The final 4. Now, I know, actually twice. I'm going to say the final 5 also. No, she wasn't in danger when Penna got voted out. You should have been able to tell that Penna was gone the moment they got back to camp. So all in all, this season was a nice one for the show, but ultimately it's kind of meh for me. No, this isn't the worst of the post-HUV era. Well, that still goes to Nicaragua, then it's Redemption Island. Okay, now the rankings get tough because previously, every season since HVV has gotten better after the next. But with this season, it's ultimately kind of hard to put where I want to put it. Because conceivably, I could put it in any of 1, 2, or 3 slots. You know what? I'm actually not going to. I won't give it a ranking. So, was it a nice season to watch? Heck yeah! Was it ultimately a good season? For the show, yes. For me, hopefully Jeff's right in saying that Fans vs. Favorites 2 is going to be better, and since we know the returnees favorites. Well, I think I've said all I want to about this final episode. So let's talk about the season in general real fast. 5 top moments, I'm gonna kind of cheat here and I'm going to group moments as events, okay? So, 5 is obviously Scoopin' getting hurt all the time. 4 is. Damn it, I forget. 4, give me a minute. 4 is on Penno's tribal exit. Guys, keep your sunny sides up. Oh, it sucked! Beep! Yeah, I love that. 3, Dawson's attempts to kiss Jeff, and I love what she did at the reunion. I wouldn't have put this on the top 5 until she did that at the reunion, and then I'm like, pfft. Oh yeah, she's getting there. Number 2, Russell's comment to Jeff. Russell, I don't know who you're talking to. If you're talking to God, I'm talking to God, Lord. I mean Jeff. And everyone's just like, yeah, and it's such a bummer they didn't take that off. I would have loved to have seen that. Lord, somebody do that, please. And then best moment of the season, Penna winning that individual immunity. I know I'm kind of playing the fanboy card and going to Penna, but guys, when he won that, I was, kind of so happy for him. I almost kind of cried, It was like when he got pulled off Micronesia. I almost cried with him because he looked so sad, and I could tell it was all genuine. And I hated this guy in Cook Islands. I like somebody when I start to cry and I used to hate them. Okay? And to be honest, I honestly think that Penna's departure is kind of what turned Denise and Malcolm over to the dark side and all that. Yeah. Well, I think that sums it up. You should be able to read between the lines about if there's anything else that I kind of have unsaid. Bye.